Hi everybody, welcome back to the Claremont Classic Garage. Well, welcome to Canada. If you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. It's the 20th of April, and we've had to bring the snow boda back down to the garage because we're supposed to get blasted with snow tonight and all day tomorrow. I can't wait. Yippee. Man, I already cut the grass once. Oh well. Anyway, today we're going to carry on with the Blue Ox. We're going to start putting on the fuel system in the exhaust system in the electrical system and see if we can get it cranked up. So we better get to work. Want to see something? Keep in mind, this is the 21st of April. The 21st of April. What in the world? Wow. Anyway, it's not really quite enough. I was hoping for one last good dump so I could test out my rebuilt snowblower here, but there's not really enough out there to justify making a great big mess. I guess that'll have to wait till next winter. Anyway, let me get this thing out of here so I got some room to work. Looks like we're in good shape. It sat here all night full of coolant and oil, and there's nothing on the floor except what I spilt yesterday working on it. Anyway, so what I'm going to do first is put the starter on. But there's more to it than just putting the starter on. Because the bell housing on that thing is wet, full of oil, the starter actually has a seal in it there, and it's mounted with a gasket. Now what I noticed, the short time I did have it running before, there was oil coming out the weep hole there, which means this seal is no good. It's probably an old leather seal, I would guess. So I bought a new seal. We just have to pop the tail housing off the starter and replace the seal, and we'll cut a new gasket for it, and then we can get the starter hung. First thing we got to check when we take apart any starter is our orientation, because some of them aren't, they give you no reference for the clocking of everything. But this one they do. You can see here, there's a notch and a corresponding key on the brush holder, and the same thing on the tail housing. So we don't have to worry about it going back the other right way. If we didn't see those things, we'd get a center punch and just mark it. Anyway, the trick to this is to get this thing apart without disturbing the brushes. I don't want to get it. I may, once I'm done, pull this cover off and check the brushes, but I don't want to take them apart if I can avoid it. So now what I'm going to do, I've got our two screws out, and I'm going to hold the armature into the starter so it doesn't come with the tail, and we're going to just tap the tail housing off. Ta-da! Oh, something's living in there, and there's the seal we have to change. You can see it's an old leather seal. No wonder it was leaking. So we got to clean off this old silicone here. The worst of it off. Then we'll, where's our sanding block? Here it is. The old mechanic sanding block. Now we're going to knock the old seal out. There we go. It lived a good life. It was a good seal. We're going to install our seal now, and the general rule usually with any seal is the open side of it, the lip, faces what you're trying to keep in. So in this case it goes lip down because we're trying to keep the oil to that side of it. So let's go over to the press and push it in. We got our seal here. I put a little grease around the outside of it just to help it go in. You don't really have to do that. It's just something I decided to do. All right, in she goes. That's it. It's bottomed. Now we're going to make a gasket for it. I don't have a new gasket for it, and I would rather have a gasket on this instead of silicone. So something I've found over the years that's good to make gaskets out of is a cereal box. We've all got those. So the first thing I got to do is cut the round hole in it. So we're going to see here. It's 3.5 inches. Actually, it's 3 5/8. Gasket's all cut out. Now we're going to use a hole punch and put the bolt holes in it. We're going to pop the end comb back on the starter now, so it's important. We'll put a little grease on our new seal to give it a fighting chance. The bushing in there, I'll just put a little, I got a little grease there. I don't know if it needs it or not. So now, you can see here, that lines up with that. Now we're going to put these 2 screws back in, and it should be good to go. That's where we like to see our starter, back on the bell housing where it belongs. Now I have to put the wiring tube back on and the toolbox. That's good. Now we can move to the other side. I've gone ahead and mounted the manifold back on. Now we're going to put the carburetor back on. This here now is the throttle shaft. This connects the carburetor to the governor. It's just a long shaft. It's an extension of literally the throttle shaft. So I got to tighten that bolt and put the throttle link on, and we should be good here. I'm going to now take these old spark plugs out and put the proper ones back in. I really want this thing to run on the mag. So we did some reading and did some research, and we got the mag timed up. Maybe one day, if I know this thing runs, I'll make a nice video on timing this, because there's nothing out there. The information is sadly lacking. Anyway, I squirted some gas down the carburetor and we wound it over, and it caught pretty good a few times. So we've gone ahead, put the fuel tank on it. I'm going to put some gas in it, let the carburetor see fuel, and we'll see if it'll run on the mag. Open the fuel tap. Oh, look at that. There's fuel running. That's something good. We'll let it get to the carburetor and see what happens there. I'm just going to give it a couple of taps in case the float, while it was sitting, sometimes they get stuck. So we'll just give it a... I went too far. All right, that was sort of okay, but timing isn't quite where it needs to be. So we're going to move it another tooth and see what that accomplishes. try it now. All right, I've advanced it another tooth. Let's see what happens. All right, I've advanced it another tooth. Whoop. All right, advanced one more tooth. Let's see what happens. See, too far, now it won't start. Okay, back to where it was. All right, back one tooth from where we were, where it wouldn't start. Let's see what happens. Seems to be happiest there. Now, let me climb up on top. All right, so that's it. It's running on the mag. I couldn't be happier. So when we come back, we're going to start dialing everything in, get linkages and stuff all set to factory spec. And I got to button up the cooling system. I got to get the belt on. I'm still waiting for a belt to come. And a few other little things, and we'll touch up the pin on the back half, get it charging. Oh, it's going to be so good. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and until next time, this is Kevin checking out from the Claremont Classic Garage. So long.